G'day folks, welcome to another episode of Bandaged Cube Creations. Well, this one is the Aarumq-1. I hope I pronounced that right. And this was originally proposed by Tripum, the very famous, certainly Twisty Puzzles Forum famous puzzle maker. He's the master, really. And I've got a few of his puzzles. They're so good. I wish I could afford more. They're very costly, but they're worth it. Just don't. You know what? I'd love to buy the entire lot. Anyway, that's another story. When he proposed it, he actually made a bandaged bump cube, if you like. So it was sort of like a mirror blocks cube, but it also had this bandaging on it. So this is just the normal 3x3 bandaged version of that puzzle. And it's got a big slice running from left to right through the back face, and it's got a big clock on the front face also running from left to right. So that entire layer is basically, cooked, and this, the up and the down are completely turnable. So let's have a look how we go about this. In terms of turning it and scrambling it, obviously it depends which way you hold it. If you hold it like this or you hold it like this, but you can always turn these side faces, but this face with the big clock is only turnable in 180 degree increments. So you kind of might think, well, what can you do? Can you actually scramble it that much? Well, yes, there are, however, restrictions in that the corners, for example, cannot twist. And I find that a very interesting thing, because most bandage puzzles, they will twist. But you can see here already, every single time, it's white and yellow, white and yellow. I don't have any ability to twist corners, and it's nothing to do with how I'm holding it. If I hold it like this, I still got to turn that right face. And no matter what I do on the up and down face, the white and yellow sticker remains the same. So the corners can't twist, the edges can't flip. So you're always going to have those yellow or white edges there. So really interesting. And you get sections like this and you think, I really need to separate them. How can I do it? Well, you just have to be a little bit more careful, and it will happen. It's like an old hair ad. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. That was actually a shampoo ad, I think. Was it shampoo? I don't know. I'm losing track of my mind. Clearly. And that's probably enough. That's all I can do. Really, the only other thing I can do is that. This causes the whole thing to be just fixed here. Nothing can happen there. So it's only these upper face, the lower face, and this face here in 180 degree turns. So that's about it. That's a scrambled puzzle. So getting it solved, what I want to do initially is just kind of holding it here, saying, well, let's get the white green over here first of all. So I'll just turn that into place. Let's perhaps get the yellow green in the same way, turn that into place. What about the yellow orange? Well, that's there, so I can just use something up here to cycle that home. This one is the yellow red. That's there, so I can kind of go, I want to position it there. So what I'm trying to do here, 1, 2, 3 on the bottom. I've only got this one I need to worry about. The white green's done. Let's place the white red over there. Well, that's done the cycle. We'll put it back. Now I've got 3 left, and either they'll be in a swap or they'll be in a cycle. So white orange to white blue to yellow blue. So I've got a cycle this time. If I didn't have a cycle, I would have something that looked like this, and I'll just really quickly set up for it. Doesn't take too long. Yeah, there we go. So here I've got the white red belongs up here, the yellow blue belongs down here, a swap of pieces. So if you get that, then you'll need to turn the upper face or the lower face one turn. Doesn't matter which way. So perhaps I'll turn the upper face like that. I'll resolve the white orange. And then I'll resolve the white green to the back. And that will then leave me with a cycle which I can deal with. So all of the edges are done. The only thing that I've ever done to stuff that up is accidentally just have that like that when I started doing it, which wasn't overly smart, but there you go. Now the corners, as I said, they can't flip, the corners can't flip anyway, they can't twist. So this, realistically, when you look at it, you think, what kind of puzzle is this like? What is it reducing to? And it's a 3x3x2. So you think, rightio, well, I'll just use the normal sort of thing that I would use for solving corners on a 3x3x2. So that would be an upper turn, a right two, an upper turn, that's interesting. That's completely blocked. And so if I just go back to the beginning there, I did spend more time than I probably needed to thinking about how to get around this and thinking, do I need to invent new sequences? Thankfully, no, I don't. And here's what I ended up coming up with. I'm going to do the corner piece series for cuboids, which by the way is just U R2, U prime R2, all of that times 2. Very, very simple. But I'm going to do a slice turn in the middle of it to make it possible. So the piece movement is exactly the same. So what I'm looking for here is something like this, where a piece on the bottom will roll across. But I want to have it so that that piece rolls to there or that piece rolls to there, depending on which way I'm going. So in this case, that's great. Now I would also look and say, is the yellow, orange, green corner up the top somewhere? It is. I'm going to put that into its position so I can cycle that home as well. So a couple of setups, and here we go. Let's continue doing what I'm doing. So up, right two, up prime, and before I do the left two, I'm going to do what I believe is called E2. Just to move that slice, so now I can do my left two, and then I'm going to do an E2 again to put it back. I continue. Now, there we go. That's all done. You remember that I did do a setup on the upper face and I did do a setup on the lower face. And that was the one I was trying to place on the bottom. That was the piece that came from the top. You can see that's far less scary than perhaps it might have been. So let's look at another one going the other way. Here I've got a white, green, red that needs to go that direction. So instead of having this piece on the right, what I'm going to do is have it on the left like this and piece movement across like that. So if that's white, red, green going to there, couple of options. Either I place the yellow, blue, orange in its position up here. I'm not thrilled about that because that will get the whole lot done. Or I grab a piece from here and move it down. Well, that's the only piece that I'm going to have available. So I will put that there and do the mirror sequence. So it's up prime, left two, up, then an E2 and a right prime, or right two, I should say. Repeat. And you can see that once we undo our setups, things are coming together really nicely. And in fact, I've only got 3 to go. I've got 1 to go to here, this one to go to here. Now I could do sort of setups to try and get the third piece up the top. But what I've found is far easier is just to basically sacrifice a piece up the top and do this in 2 stages. So I'm going to place the white, blue, red over to here first and just use one of the pieces on the top. So I'll position that, I'll grab that piece there, and away we go. That's all done. Turn this back, see where we're at. And we've now got the last one where the white, orange, blue is going to there. It's actually perfectly positioned. The yellow, green, red will go to here, and that white, green, orange will come down to there. So carry out the same thing. And you can see it's actually really pretty straightforward. I don't mind doing a move like this between a sequence. We've had to do that before. We'll certainly have to do it again in Bandaged cubes. I can think of another puzzle, whether it's released yet or not, I don't know, but I was flipping two edges, and I did the down, down, up, up, and then before I did the upper face turn, I needed to remove a blocking part there. So very, very common sort of thing in bandage puzzles, but that is what the Aarumq-1 is. That's how it solves as far as the bandaged cube. Well, this is the puzzle for the next video. This one is called the Bandaged Clock Mars, and you can kind of see 3 faces in a row. Mars, the crazy planets, has 3 1 faces in a row and 3 0 faces in a row. So here the clocks appear on the 1 faces. So got that like that. If you want to look at the reason for why they are perhaps like this and not that, or other things like that, have a look at the thread, which I'll leave a link in the description, I reckon. If I don't, just remind me. And so this is a little bit of a step up from the bandage clock, something like the Earth or the Venus, but not a huge amount. So it's a pretty nice little puzzle that's coming up.